The HAVENBELL Trilogy, Book 3, EZRAH, written by Allison Hunt, copyright 2011. Chapter 6, Shock Treatment. Evan came into his father's palace with his son. He addressed them and told them he would start training Caleb right away. They left the room, and that is when they ran into Zephyr. "Not you!" Lox screamed. "Miss me, Duran? Call me Caleb or Lox. Everybody hates Duran. Duran is my father. I'll just call you E-Paw." Zephyr zapped Caleb. He fell over. When he got up, he charged a beam. "Knock it off," Evan warned. Caleb ignored him and zapped Zephyr, who fell over and laughed. "How's your girlfriend doing?" Caleb taunted. Then Zephyr really gave it to him this time. Caleb lay frozen, and then Evan zapped Zephyr. "Ow! Knock it off, the both of you." Then an elf ran in announcing news, so they left the palace and entered the city courtyard. Cheyenne and Zach waited. Zephyr ran to his sister. Cheyenne smiled and hugged him with her wings. She wrapped them around his head. "Zephyr, you look identical to Duran." "Thanks. He must have been handsome." "Very much, but very evil. Listen, Zephyr, don't chase the scepter, please." "But I want it, and so does Winsfeld. I should kill him first." "Zephyr, no, you will all die." Zephyr pushed away from his sister and zapped Zach. He tumbled over. "EZRAH lost his powers. He can't help you anymore. I want you to help me instead." Zephyr pressed into Zach, but Zach flew up and zapped him hard. Zephyr rolled on the ground. Caleb was feeling better, so he got close to Zephyr and waited for him to try to get up. "Zach and Zephyr, both of you must stop your searching. You can't hold up to the king, trust me. You're going to get yourselves killed," Evan warned. Zephyr stirred and Caleb zapped him. Then he zapped Zach too. Then Evan zapped Caleb and Caleb tried to disappear but couldn't. "No, you don't," Evan pinned him. Cheyenne zapped Evan. "What are you trying to do?" she asked. "Bring the Aztraks to kill you all? You guys are pathetic. Heed my warning." Zin flew in. "Go to Drake, Mother." She flew off. He started throwing air fans. Zephyr and Caleb ran. He spotted Zach and threw fans at him instead. Zach dodged the fans and zapped Zin, but Zin threw his beam back at him and Zach fell from the sky. He hit the ground with a thud. While Zara waited by the woods, she saw a wonderful thing. She saw a man with sparkling wings land very close to her. She backed up and accidentally snagged the cloak on the tree as she did. Ezra turned around when he heard the commotion. "Autumn?" he asked, but it wasn't Autumn. "No, who are you? Are you the fairy Tribreed?" "Yes." "You are beautiful. Your wings are amazing." "Not really. They're trouble." "Listen, Tribreed," Zara warned. "Ezra. Ezra, my soon-to-be husband is going to kill both you and your father. He's going after him right now. You must stay away from him." Ezra smiled. What were the chances? He didn't have any powers, but neither did she. He used nature and bound up the drake and feather. She's trying to help him, and Ezra takes her hostage. Zin blew a dart into Zach's neck. Evan blew a bomb at Zin, and he fell down. Evan disappeared and charged him with his sword, but Zin had the goggles on and drew his fans. He threw them at Evan's feet, making him dance. Evan used his force and picked up and turned the fans on Zin. Spring summoned the wind and threw them all down. He threw a spear at Evan. It pierced through his shoulder, and Evan fell. Caleb jumped out of the woods with Zephyr, and they both zapped Zin at the same time. He fell panting in pain. Zephyr approached him. "Where's the fairy potion?" Zin did not like this guy. He was a very strong shithead. "My father has it." "I need that damn potion!" Zephyr pulled his sword and held it to Zin's neck. "You're my uncle." "I don't care," Zephyr smirked. "You're going to get me the scepter." "No, I won't." Then Ezra flew in holding Zara. He had her tied up pretty good. His father was a sailor after all. That was the last thing Zin needed. Ezra put her down and landed next to Zin. "Nay, you're going to get me the scepter." The fairies came to Elkstaff and took care of Zach. While they weren't looking, Zephyr had talked to Zach quite a bit, and Zach fell under his spell. Now remember that Sasha did a really bad thing, and Sasha gave Zephyr all the arts and sorcery, and nobody's supposed to know that stuff. So it makes Zephyr like a way stronger. Like Duran was telling Trillium, he's like, if I taught you all the arts and sorcery, that you could beat all of the council and all of the wizards. And Zephyr knows it all now. I think he almost knows all of it. Evan was recovering. One day his father came in holding Sasha by the arm. Look what I caught, Jack laughed and threw her into the room and closed the door behind him with his powers. You won't be able to disappear, so why don't you just sit and talk with me a while? Sasha sat down. You must understand that Alasius cannot be king. I wish him to be. It looks like Ezra's the one challenging the throne at the moment. I want the Draken dead. I want all of the Drakens dead. I must rest a while. Then I will go, Zin said. You follow him, Ezra. You will bring me the potion or I mess with your girl. Zephyr threatened and Zin scowled. Him and Ezra both went for the scepter. I won't kill any Drakens. I love your sister. You have my girl, Zin shouted. I just want to draw between all of us so that no one dies, except maybe Zephyr. I hate that shithead. I'll give you the scepter for Zara, but I promise you, when my father shows up, you're all dead. I'll give it back to him for Autumn's hand. Zin went into the boundaries and got the scepter. He willed it to Ezra. Only the true blood could will it away. They both came out of the sea. Ezra had to redress after being in Adrella form, and they both flew to the city. When they landed, everyone came out to see them, for Ezra held the scepter of Zane. Everyone bowed to him except for Zephyr and Zin. Lox and Zephyr zapped Zin again. He lay panting. Zephyr stood over him and brought Zara to him. Where's the potion? Zephyr demanded. I don't have it. Zin insisted, and Zephyr placed his hands on Zara's head. No! Zin screamed. He was powerless. Zephyr smiled. I just erased you from her mind. They put Zin in a cage and placed spells upon it. Autumn flew in throwing air fans. Zephyr began to run. Where's my brother? She yelled at Zephyr. She threw more blades and he ran for his life. Then Ezra flew in. He held the scepter. Autumn! She threw many fans at him. Where's my brother? You have the scepter? My father shall kill you in a blink of an eye, she screamed. She threw more fans at Ezra, who dodged them. I'll kill you, Ezra. What have you done? Don't you know if you hurt him, you hurt me? We are twins. I didn't do anything to him. He's fine. I'll take you to him. Ezra broke the spells with the scepter. Autumn went in and held Zin. She tried to give him power. She tried to give him power because her hand started to glow, and she released it onto him. He said nothing. He had one tear on his stone-cold face. I'm so angry at you, Ezra. Alasius is going to get it for sure. You're going to come with us. Go get Zara now. Ezra returned with her. The only problem was Zara couldn't swim with them, and she didn't remember Zin. Zin put her under a spell. I'm taking her to Drake. Take the scepter back before Father shows up. I'm trading it for Autumn, Ezra refused. You don't need to. My father will crush you if you come in holding his scepter. You just better get ready to kiss some ass. Zin and Zara flew away. They returned the scepter and flew to Drake. Autumn held Ezra's hand as they flew to the top. Autumn made the shields drop in Drake. She took Ezra's hand and kissed him. They entered the palace together. They approached Winter. How dare you bring Winsfeld to me? Into Drake! He is unarmed and powerless. You can kill him if you want. She was right. He bowed to Winter. Great King, I wish to serve you. I love Autumn and wish to do anything to have her hand. Winter scanned him. I challenge you to a duel with air blades. This frightened Ezra a bit, but he really didn't have a choice. They fought hard. Winter was good, but he couldn't fly. Ezra kept his flying reserved. They were both extremely good. Winter used no magic on him, only tested his skill. Winter had to fight hard, and he finally got a piece of him cutting his leg. Ezra threw 4 fans at once, cutting Winter's arm in return. They both stopped and were breathing heavy. Good, Winter said. He rubbed some medicine into their wounds. He then armed Ezra with the sword and fought with him again. He was superb, even if he had bulky wings. Winter was impressed. He really wished to fight him underwater. Winter was the master of the blade, and he heard that only Ezra could best him. He challenged him with the spear. Ezra shook his head. Try. Winter threw a spear and Ezra caught it. Winter showed him a few positions in which Ezra mimicked. He spun the spear above his head, then lunged at Ezra. Ezra tried to block him. Now Ezra mimicked Winter's lunge. Winter easily stuck out his spear, sending Ezra's through the air. No, Winter said. Again. He trained him a while longer, but he always slapped Ezra's spear away. Ezra was frustrated. Stop doing that! It's going to take you much work with the spear. Easy for you to say. You don't have wings in your way. No, but you can't fight with the spear if you can't keep your hands on it. All of the Drakens have you beat with a stick. Ezra laughed until he realized it was true. He stopped. He would have to work on it. Now Winter challenged him with the bow. Ezra laughed. I can't shoot. You fly. You need archery. Zen is good. He should teach you. He's sick, isn't he? Yes. Your friends drained him. Your friends drained him. You see, Zen is not used to feelings. He is not used to defeat. Zen is not used to love, and what Elacius did to Zara broke his heart. But I fixed it and gave him the potion. The one Zephyr wants? Yes, luckily Zen had stolen it. He is getting married tomorrow, and you will not interfere. You are mine now. I just hope his love cures his fury. Of what? Elacius. I'm worried about your father, too. I may have to erase his memory again. I don't see any other way to keep him alive. Let me talk to him, Ezra begged. Nay, they can control you, and you are very skilled, Ezra. Thank you, Great One. I rule you now. Did you know that my son saved you? What are you talking about? He hates me. No, he erased you with the scepter so we didn't have to kill you. He did it so that you could be with Autumn. Really? When can I marry her? Ezra asked. Good boy. Soon, after Zen's wedding. Great King, I rule the Adrella Sea. Good. Keep it that way. I'm afraid of Zephyr's mind in the sea. My son and I don't want to rule there unless we have to. It's better that we are protected and that no one knows that we are Adrella. Your father knows who I am now, and I'm sure he's told everyone. You should have stopped him from going through the grove. Naughty Tanahau, Autumn told Zara, while she helped to dress and decorate her. Cheyenne helped. Naughty Tanihau. Nay, how. My brother's going to love you in Draken clothing. Try again. Autumn put beautiful face paint and makeup on her. Naughty Tanahau, Zara practiced. Yes, that's it. What does it mean? I make the oath. The ceremony started. Winter stood next to Zen and Ezra stood to the side below them. Zen had a huge headdress on. So did Zara. They both looked magnificent. Autumn was dressed up as well. She entered behind Zara. Zen smiled and smiled, but Autumn paid no attention to Zen, for she had seen Ezra, and he was in Draken clothing. His face was painted. He looked like a warrior. She knelt to the side and watched Ezra, who smiled and watched her as well. Zen held Zara's hands. Naughty Tanahau, and Autumn mouthed the words to Ezra. Naughty Hinwa Tise, Zen responded, and Ezra mouthed the words, I rule you, to Autumn. He knew the ancient language as well. Zen and Zara kissed, and all of the Drakens cheered along with Cheyenne and Ezra, the tri-breeds. Ezra came at Autumn the first chance he got. He scooped her close to him and wrapped his Josepharian fairy wings around her face. She did the same. Good heavens, Autumn, you look so good I'm gonna die. Autumn kissed him hard and he kissed her back. We're getting married tomorrow. Your father said yes. Right then she fainted. The next evening, Ezra and Autumn were married. Ezra the fairy tri-breed looked awesome in his Draken headdress. His wings sparkled with his outfit. It was special, just like him. They made their oath. Winter took a dagger and cut Ezra's hand. He cut himself as well. He grabbed Ezra's hand and shook it. "You make a blood oath to never betray my family." "I promise," Ezra said in the ancient tongue. "Ezra Winsfeld, you are a prince of HAVENBELL." The Drakens cheered. Ezra smiled and held Autumn. "One more thing," Winter said. "You are weak at the spear. No son of mine shall be weak at the spear." Understood. The sky darkened, for many feathers were clouding Drake just above the force field. Winter looked at Ezra, and he and Zen flew up to check it out. Zara, Autumn, and Cheyenne followed, leaving Winter stranded. They all came to the top of the shield. There, waiting for Ezra, was Zach, and he was furious. He had many feathers with him. They shot arrows at the field, but none got through. Zach grew even angrier, for he saw Cheyenne and Ezra's wife, the Draken feather. Ezra was dressed as a Draken. His face was painted, and he wore a grand outfit. Zach looked at the two of them and then shot a beam at the field and flew off. They all returned to Winter and told him Zach awaited the shield. Then all of a sudden, the shields dropped. Winter took the women underground, and Zen and Ezra suited up for air war. Many feathers came at them shooting arrows. Drake was full of traps and lasers, and many feathers fell from them. Some of them retreated, even though they were still under Zach's influence. Zen and Ezra began to throw fans, and the feathers started dropping like flies. The Drakens began pointing their lasers at the attacking feathers. Zach wasn't much of a shot, so he held back. Then Farisef's army came in and began to battle Zach's. Zach dove for land, and Winter greeted him. "Zane's Ossel, I will kill you myself." "You interrupt your son's wedding. A truce has been made with our houses. Surrender, Winsfeld." "Never," Zach hissed. "You stole Cheyenne from me and erased my memory of her." "I stole Cheyenne from Duran. I kept her safe. I erased your memory to keep you from getting yourself killed. I let you live." "You stole her from me, Zane. She was my girl." "Nay, she was not. She didn't know you were an Adrella. Why would you keep that a secret from her? So that you may never visit her there or anywhere? You would have hurt her like you do to all of your lovers." "She was different." "Nay, Winsfeld, she was the same. You just didn't get what you want. After you get what you want, you leave them forever." "I married Syrah. She must have used powers on you." "Ooh, it's cold." "No woman moved my soul, so I returned to Fairy Island. I searched and I didn't find her because you stole her from me. She begged me to erase you from her." "Ooh, winter's cold." "I hate you, Zossel." "I didn't erase you from her. I made her hurt and made her suffer. I showed her what real love is. Never in all this time has she tried to seek you. I wonder why that is." "As if that wasn't good enough, you stole my son too and made him my enemy." "Ezra married our daughter Autumn. I'm the only reason you are both alive. You will not stop trying to kill me. You will not stop seeking my scepter. You went mad in the grove, and now I must kill you, Winsfeld." Winter drew a sword, as did Zach. They both had powers, but Zach had wings. They were both really excellent fighters, but Zach could always fly away from deadly blows. Zach pulled Zane's sword away from him, but Zane pulled 2 spears and used them to slap Zach's sword away. He then threw one of his spears at Zach, who caught it and tried to pull Zane's other spear, but he would not let go. His mind was solid. He lunged at Zach, who moved quickly and swung his spear clumsily. Zane slapped it with his spear, and the other spear went flying. "Stupid feather," Winter scolded. Zach zapped him, but Winter was faster, and it bounced back at him. Zach fell and awaited his death. The sky darkened as a huge bunch of fairies dove in and surrounded Zach. There were many of them. Garrett, Syrah, Mizu, son of Ayumi, son of Bunky, came as well. They formed a ring around him and surrounded him in power. Junie landed on Zach's shoulder. "What are you doing, Zach? You can't fight him. He'll kill you." Winter put his spear away. Ezra and Zen came back. "Mother!" Ezra shouted and flew towards her. She only let him so close because of the ring. She smiled. "I'm married, Mother, to a quad breed. I'm a prince of Havenbell now." "Good. What are you doing to Father?" "Helping him. He almost got himself killed. His mind is fraying. He walked through the grove twice, and Alasius has him under a spell. We're taking him back to Fairy Island to cure him."